Hi, welcome back. Among all the videos and articles about traveling and living in China, there's one question that never gets mentioned. As a foreigner, which is more convenient to use in China, an iPhone or an Android phone? That's what I want to discuss today. Even though I'm a Chinese guy and my native language is Chinese, I've spent some time investigating this question. I've been using both an iPhone and a Google Pixel phone, installing all the apps I use daily on both and setting the phone interface to English. I pretended to be a foreigner who doesn't know any Chinese to see how easy it is to use each phone. So here's the conclusion at the moment. Android is slightly more convenient than iPhone. There are three main reasons for this, which I'll explain one by one. Let's get started. Reason number one: SIM card restrictions. In my previous video, I mentioned that when you come to China, you can choose between a physical SIM card and an eSIM. However, when I talk about eSIMs, I'm referring to foreign eSIM service providers like Nomad, Airalo, Holafly, etc., which I'll cover in detail in future videos. No Chinese carrier offers eSIMs for phones, and in fact, none of the cell phones sold in mainland China support eSIM functionality. And I believe that this won't change for a long time. This brings up a significant issue. Starting with the iPhone 14 series, Apple has removed the SIM card slot in the US, meaning these models only support eSIM. If you buy an iPhone in the US and bring it to China, you won't be able to use a physical SIM card since your phone doesn't support it. As of now, Android phones are not affected by this, and most iPhones sold in other regions still support at least one physical SIM card. SIM plus eSIM, or dual SIM. It's uncertain whether Apple will gradually remove the SIM card slot in other countries, so this is a potential risk to consider. Therefore, before coming to China, you need to think carefully about your needs and whether your phone supports 1. A SIM card slot, and 2. It's an unlocked, non-contract phone. Number 2. App Store restrictions. In the Apple App Store, the apps you see vary depending on the country or region of your Apple ID. During this time, not only did I switch my phone's interface to English, but I also changed my Apple ID into a US account, and that is when I discovered this issue. For example, when logged in with a Chinese Apple ID, apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, Threads, Signal, and so on can't be found or downloaded. However, when I switched to a US ID, I found that many Chinese apps I regularly use became not available. But don't worry too much about it. The two most important apps in China, WeChat and Alipay, are still downloadable, and these two apps can solve over 95% of your needs during your trip. Even if you need an app that's unavailable in your region, you can still have an alternative, which is using mini programs or mini apps within these two applications. It's like having countless apps within these two. However, if you're using an Android phone, everything becomes much easier. You can easily install third-party app stores or download apps directly from a browser. Any obstacles you might encounter on an Android phone seem to disappear. This is my second reason for recommending Android. Reason number 3. Language barrier. Most people are now quite proficient in using Google Translate for text translation by copying and pasting, using the conversation mode for talking to others, or translating menus through the camera. But what if an app on your phone only displays text in a language you don't understand? This is where the third point comes in, and it's also the most important reason why I believe Android is more convenient than iPhone. Android supports real-time screen translation through various apps. Why is this feature so useful? In China, the support for other languages and apps can generally be categorized into 3 types. 1. Full language support. For instance, WeChat and Alipay. Between the two, Alipay stands out even more because it offers a one-click translation feature on some pages that don't display in English, making the user experience almost equivalent to screen translation. In these apps, there's not much difference between using an iPhone and an Android device. 2. Partial language support. A representative example is the most widely used ride-hailing app, Didi. A foreigner once asked me why Didi doesn't offer fixed fare options. All prices are estimates, which can result in high costs due to traffic jams. I then realized that Didi's Discount Express option offers fixed prices in the Chinese interface And there's an even cheaper carpool option that doesn't exist in the English display. There are many similar apps, but I can't list them all. In summary, many apps retain only basic features in English, while additional features, services, and discounts are only available in the Chinese interface. 3. Chinese only. To use these apps, and to fully utilize the functionality of apps in the second category, overcoming the language barrier is essential. This is where the screen translation feature becomes a game changer. There are many apps with similar features, but after trying several of those, I found the best one to be Bubble Screen Translate. Here's how it works. When you need a translation, launch the app, which activates the screen recording feature. A semi-transparent floating button will appear on the screen. When you need to translate a particular interface, just simply tap this button, and it will instantly translate any text displayed on the screen into a language you understand. Thanks to the openness of the Android system, the user experience for this feature is much better on Android compared to iPhone. This feature can be activated on any screen within any app, which means that language barriers are no longer an issue for foreigners, and this isn't just useful in China. It can be used in other countries as well. So, those are the 3 reasons why I believe that at this stage, using an Android phone is more convenient for foreigners in China compared to an iPhone. If you're feeling uncertain about which phone to bring before coming to China, I hope my video can help you make a decision. Also, feel free to share your experiences, insights, and tips with everyone watching this video. That's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next time.